1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Sounditavam. The COVID eradication vaccine program commences. State Minister Sudarshini Fernandopulle says that this program was initiated early due to the dedication of the President. An agreement has been signed between China and Sri Lanka to grant 300,000 doses of COVID vaccines. The overall COVID recoveries exceeds 49,000. 23 trade unions begin a work to rule protest campaign. In world news, the Novavax vaccine shows an 89% efficacy in UK trials. The COVID eradication vaccination program has commenced. A vaccine stock was donated to Sri Lanka by the Indian government following a request made by President to the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. The gift from India is keeping in line with India's continued support to Sri Lanka in fighting the COVID pandemic. 3 military personnel have received the first jabs of the Oxford AstraZeneca's Covishield vaccines in Sri Lanka at the Army Hospital in Colombo. Sri Lanka kicked off the vaccination drive against COVID-19 at 7 hospitals this morning. Meanwhile, Dr. Anand Vijayavikrama became the first medical officer in the country to be vaccinated against COVID-19. He was administered the jab at the Infectious Disease Hospital. The launch of the program officially commenced at the IDH with the participation of the State Minister of Primary Healthcare, Epidemics and COVID Disease Control, Sudarshini Fernandopulle, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Mr. Gopal Bagle, and other officials. Dr. Fernandopulle stated that this vaccination program was initiated early due to the complete dedication and enthusiasm of the President. Meanwhile, the vaccination program was also conducted at the Narayanpeta and Panagoda army camps under the patronage of the Army Commander, General Shavendra Silva. An agreement has been reached for the grant of 300,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines to be given by China to Sri Lanka. The agreement was signed by the deputy head of the Chinese embassy in Sri Lanka, Wu Wei, and State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana. The embassy office said that measures will be taken to provide these stocks of vaccines during the middle of next month. The National Operational Centre to Prevent the Spread of COVID-19 says that 892 infected persons have been identified this morning. Most of the infected persons were reported from the Colombo district. Accordingly, 298 patients from Colombo and 203 cases from the Gampaha district have been reported. The overall infected persons reported in the country is 61,585. Out of this, the recoveries have exceeded 54,000. More than 6,000 infected persons are receiving treatment in hospitals. 7 deaths were reported this morning. Therefore, the overall death toll in the country is 297. 19,420 PCR tests were conducted yesterday. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana Trade Union, Sanjaya Kumara Veligama, says that they started their work to rule campaign at 1 p.m. with the participation of 23 trade unions. They are conducting their protest campaign near the Khan Clock Tower, requesting to remove the 40% and 51% shares of the Eastern Jetty to be prepared by a cabinet paper to be presented to the cabinet. They also have requested to keep the Eastern Jetty of the Ports Authority as their own. He told the SLBC that the support of the Government Medical Officers Association, Teacher Association, Water, Postal, Railway, Telecom, Javadnapura Hospital and Civil and Trade Union Associations of 267 institutions have been received. The representatives of the trade unions said that if they did not receive an answer, they will continue their trade union action. The US Embassy said in a statement today that the United States, in coordination with zonal and provincial education and health services authorities, is setting up health rooms at 120 schools around the country. This is an initiative to support the health and well-being of thousands of Sri Lankan students. The health rooms promote the Ministry of Education's recommendations to ensure basic precautionary measures against COVID-19 and will include beds, mattresses, first aid kits, portable screens and water dispensers. The rooms enable isolation and related care for students if needed. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
500,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine was received in the country yesterday. Priority will be given to provide the vaccines to the health sector staff, the 3 armed forces and the police who are engaged in the eradicating process of COVID-19. The research reports have confirmed the success of this vaccine is between 62 and 97%. The Health Ministry also stated that the vaccination program will be conducted in other provinces as well and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, the residents in Dodangoda complain that the drug menace is spreading vastly in the Dodangoda police area. They express their regret at children being addicted to drugs. This is a grave problem for parents as well as the teachers to prevent children from the addiction to drugs. It has been revealed that an organised drug dealings and rackets are being carried out in this area. This is for the attention of the OIC of the Dodangoda Police and the SSP of Kalutara came to you in Watchlight, and we look at world news next.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, Novavax vaccine shows an 89% efficacy in UK trials. China warns Taiwan independence means war as US dismisses comments. And global tourism hit by biggest ever losses in 2020. A new coronavirus vaccine has been shown to be 89.3% effective in large-scale UK trials. The Novavax jab is the first to show it is effective against a new variant of the virus discovered in the UK. The Prime Minister welcomed the good news and said the UK's medicines regulator would now assess the vaccine. The UK has secured 60 million doses of the jab, which will be made in Stockton-on-Tees. The government said the doses are expected to be delivered in the second half of this year, if approved for use by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. China has in a strong statement warned that attempts by Taiwan to seek independence from Beijing means war. The warning comes days after Beijing stepped up military activities and sent warplanes near the island. It also comes amid closer ties between Taiwan and the US, which welcomed a new administration just last week. In a statement yesterday, the US reaffirmed Washington's commitment to supporting Taiwan's defense capability. China sees democratic Taiwan as a breakaway province, but Taiwan sees itself as a sovereign state. The UN World Tourism Organization says global tourism suffered its worst year on record in 2020 due to an unprecedented fall in demand and widespread travel restrictions brought by the coronavirus pandemic. The UN agency says in a report that international arrivals dropped by around 1 billion in 2020 from the previous year, resulting in an estimated loss of $1.3 trillion in export revenues. The report says the figure is more than 11 times the loss recorded during the 2009 global economic crisis. By region, Asia and the Pacific saw the largest year-on-year decline in international arrivals at 84%. Africa and the Middle East each recorded a 75% drop. Back to the headlines of the world news. Novavax vaccine shows an 89% efficacy in UK trials. China warns Taiwan independence means war as US dismisses comments. And global tourism hit by biggest ever losses in 2020. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Moving on to development news. Agriculture Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage said 2,000 million rupees is spent annually to import agri-seeds to the country, and it is planned to reduce it gradually in the next 3 years and produce around 80% of the country's required seeds locally. He added that the import of any seed other than the seeds that cannot be produced locally will be suspended within 3 years, and came to you in development news. Moving on to sports, 5 decisive decisions have been taken for the betterment of cricket in the country. These decisions have been taken at a discussion held between the Sports Minister Nama Rajapaksa with the Chairman of the National Sports Council Mahela Javathana and the officials of the Sri Lanka Cricket Institute. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Nama Rajapaksa, says national athletes and coaches will be signed and contracted on a performance-based payment scheme. The Sports Minister added that the officials also agreed to appoint a new National Selection Committee. The focus of the meeting was also on forming more competitive domestic and provincial tournaments and giving priority for player discipline and fitness. Officials have further agreed on appointing a new director and a mentor to assist Sri Lanka's head coach Mickey Arthur, the tweet read further. That's sports news, business news up next.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Danusha Marine Lanka Exports Private Limited, one of the largest exporters in the boat and shipbuilding industry in Sri Lanka, exported their first 20-metre multi-day fishing vessel FV Ocean Harvest to Ocean Harvest Limited in Mauritius, which sailed successfully to Mauritius recently. Danusha Marine multi-day fishing vessels consist of communication and navigation equipment, refrigerator, system, generator, chilled bath and bait to hold and maintain the quality of fish obtained, which will allow the fishermen to sell their quality fish harvest to local and international markets. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The stock market has achieved new highs due to continued optimism among investors. The All Share Price Index ASPI of the Colombo Stock Exchange has surpassed the 8,000 points mark for the first time in history recently. Commenting on the spike in the performance of the CSE, Dhammika De Silva, an investor advisor attached to a leading stockbroking company in Sri Lanka, said the stock market has continued to remain bullish, recording high levels of turnover. That's economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
On to the weather report to conclude. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Matale and Nuwara Elia districts. Fairly heavy falls, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the northern, north central and eastern provinces and in the Matale district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters can be expected in some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Kalutara, Galle and Matara districts. Misty conditions can be expected in the western, central and Sabaragamuwa provinces during the morning. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The COVID eradication vaccine program commences. State Minister Sudashini Fernandopoulos says that this program was initiated early due to the dedication of the President. An agreement has been signed between China and Sri Lanka to grant 300,000 doses of COVID vaccines. The overall COVID recoveries exceeds 49,000. 23 trade unions begin a Work to Rule protest campaign. And the Novavax vaccine shows an 89% efficacy in UK trials. That concludes this afternoon's news broadcast. And now it's back to your good friend and mine and your hostess, Heshma, to provide you with lunchtime music as you enjoy your lunch. Back to you, Heshma.